following is an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports.
Toronto provided the backdrop for the NBA's inaugural game. 50 years ago to the day, the New York Knickerbockers and Toronto Huskies made history as the National Basketball Association began building the foundation for what the game is today. Last season, the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan won their 4th title. Now, 28 teams begin the long road to try and dethrone the champs. In New York, the new look Knicks try to reestablish themselves as an Eastern force. Allen Houston and Larry Johnson will provide added firepower, aiming to bring Ewing and company that elusive championship. Rookie of the Year Damon Stoudemire and Toronto's top pick Marcus Camby are the future for this second-year franchise. The Raptors and Knicks kick off the NBA's 50th anniversary. This is Maple Leaf Gardens in downtown Toronto, the scene of the NBA's first game ever in 1946. And has the game grown? This is Sky Dome. Over 30,000 expected tonight as the New York Knicks take on the Toronto Raptors in the first of a doubleheader. The NBA on TNT returns. Coming up next, Shaquille O'Neal makes his debut in a Laker uniform as the Los Angeles Lakers take on the Phoenix Suns. Back at the Sky Dome, let's bring you the starting lineups for Game 1 of this season. Charlie Ward and Allen Houston in the New York Knicks backcourt. Up front, Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, and Buck Williams playing for Charles Oakley. The starting 5 for the Toronto Raptors, Damon Stoudemire and Doug Christie will be the guards. And up front will be Walt Williams. Jan Tabak from Croatia will be the center. And Popeye Jones will be the power forward. The 2 youngest coaches in the NBA, Jeff Van Gundy at age 34, begins his first full season at the helm of the New York Knicks. And a former Knick, Darrell Walker, who played for New York for 3 years. He's 35 years old, and the second youngest is beginning his first year as coach of Toronto. And oddly enough, Brendan Malone, who was the head coach of the Raptors who won 21 games last year, has resurfaced as assistant coach with the New York Knicks. So he is here as well. The officials working tonight, Hugh Evans, Nolan Fine, and Benny Adams, and we're set to go. They're wearing the retro uniforms. Back then, yes, the Knicks and the Huskies and the referees as well, wearing the referee uniforms that they wore back in 1946. So you'll see Huskies on the Toronto jerseys. They are the Raptors. Last year, the Knicks swept Toronto 4-0. They won by an average victory margin of nearly 25 a game, but keep in mind that Damon Stoudemire did not play in 2 of those games.
Tonight I'm looking for the Toronto Raptors to come out and try to put a lot of pressure on the Knicks. By that we mean going down the court at full court and then also at 3/4 court, trying to get them out of their half-court sets by pressuring and trying to force the Knicks into early turnovers. The key will be Charlie Ward. This is his first start in a regular NBA game. Can he handle that type of backcourt pressure?
Chris Giles, who was signed, the former New Jersey Net, has a fractured right fibula, and he hopes to get going in a couple of weeks. And so Charlie Ward, the former Heisman Trophy winner from Florida State back in '93, running things. Allen Houston in now low to Larry Johnson, leaving Ewing open for the moment, and Patrick Ewing hits the first shot of the year to give the Knicks the lead.
Now that's beautiful by design. Larry Johnson, an excellent passer out of the double team.
And Damon Stoudemire, who was easily the Rookie of the Year in the NBA last year, only 5'10", led the team in all the top categories. Walt Williams misses, and Jan Tabak gets the offensive rebound. Here's Stoudemire for 3, and he's got it, and the Raptors are up by 1.
Last year, Damon Stoudemire made 133 threes. That's the most ever for a rookie in the NBA.
Here's Patrick Ewing, who should be pleased with a lot more offensive support this time around, especially from the likes of Allen Houston, the shooting guard. Now they go to Larry Johnson, double teamed, and Charlie Ward misses from outside. Buck Williams trying to keep it alive, and into the hands of Doug Christie. Christie, a former Knick. And here is Walt Williams. Good pass inside to Popeye Jones, and a foul is called.
Beautiful pass in traffic by Walt Williams. Popeye Jones coming off a sensational year in Dallas a year ago with 11 points and 10 rebounds a game.
At the free throw line for the Huskies.
Foul is on Patrick Ewing and Popeye Jones, one of the new faces on the Toronto Raptors. He was acquired from the Dallas Mavericks, where he set career records. Popeye Jones averaged over 11 points and nearly 11 rebounds a game.
Last year, Dick, he was 7th in the league in rebounding, but didn't get enough games. Now that's really quite a say when you think that he's out of Murray State and a second-round draft book. Now you're going to see right here, this is a 2-2-1 three-quarter court trap.
Allen Houston fires from long range, long rebound. Tabak gets the rebound. Sharon Wright was scheduled to start at center, but he's had a bad back. He couldn't go. Popeye Jones starts, misses the layup. Good running opportunity for the Raptors. The Knicks come right back with a running play of their own, and Allen Houston goes in, and the follow-up by Larry Johnson, who gets his first points in the uniform of the Knicks.
This type of tempo, Dick, is definitely in favor of Toronto.
Although you wonder if the Knicks go on and get the chemistry with their new faces, whether they may pick up the tempo a little bit compared to what they did in recent years.
Well, hopefully the coaching staff, that's what they're definitely looking for. Now you're seeing the Raptors in a 2-2-1 trap. Now you say, why are they doing that? First of all, it gets the Knicks out of their half-court sets. Second, they can possibly get a trap into turnovers and then running climb off the clock.
3-second violation gave the ball over to the New York Knicks. Darrell Walker telling us today that there is no way I can play the Knicks even up, so I'm going to have to trap, and I'm going to have to take time off the clock. He says we're better off as a frenzy team, and that's what he hopes to do. Walt Williams picking up the personal foul away from the ball, his first. Over 30,000 sitting and watching. Not involved yet in the game as Doug Christie on the turnover. Stoudemire working against Allen Houston. Christie is open for three. And the rebound by Patrick Ewing. Let's see if the Knicks push it up now. Charlie Ward, the point guard. And as you mentioned, very little, actually started one game last year, so he's under the gun a little bit.
Dick, right now, Larry Johnson is running to that post-up position on the right box. Walt Williams has fouled him twice. He played in 7 exhibition games this year, Walt Williams, and fouled out of 4.
So that's something that Darrell Walker is going to have to watch. Walt Williams has split time between Sacramento and Miami last year, and Allen Houston throws the ball away. Not surprising that the teams may be a little bit ragged because both teams have so many new faces.
The Knicks have 4 new starters in here. Anytime that you're trying to get this chemistry will definitely happen in the second half of the season, but early on you're trying to learn the little nuances of the other players.
Damon Stoudemire shooting over Ward and gets the rebound. Good hustle by Stoudemire. Finds an opening and drives to the basket. No one picked him up, and Stoudemire has 5 of the 7 points as the Raptors lead by 3.
See, right now they're showing 2-2-1 trap. They are not getting a hard trap in the backcourt. It'll be interesting to see if it will happen as they move along.
Ward tried to make the extra pass to Johnson. Johnson didn't go to the hoop, but Walt Williams misses the layup on a fine feed from Stoudemire. He had to lay up that end, and now the Knicks come back, trailing 7-4. Knicks lost to the Chicago Bulls in the conference semifinals last year.
Great block.
And a great block by Tabak. And Stoudemire trying to split the middle. Fortunate that he didn't lose the ball. Trying to do too much.
Yeah, he's trying to put too much mustard on here and make a lot of great plays. Big thing for him right now is slow down and make the easy passes. They've already missed 2 layups.
And here is Walt Williams shooting from downtown. Hits the 3. The second from downtown for the Toronto Raptors, who open up a 6-point lead. And here's Larry Johnson going strong to the hoop. Basket counts and a foul. And the Knicks are finding transition baskets here.
Anytime that you trap, Dick, you try to get your one trap in the backcourt, and then when you scramble, you're either going to get a second trap or you are going to match up man-to-man. And what's happening now is they're matching up man-to-man. Now, here you're going to see penetration. Walt Williams on a 3. We told you at the top, this is a good addition for Toronto. Walt Williams and Hubert Davis are 2 guys who can really shoot a high percentage.
Foul was on Popeye Jones, but Larry Johnson missed the chance for a 3-point play, and the Knicks trail the Toronto Raptors 10-6. They're wearing the uniforms they wore in the first game 50 years ago, back in 46. Tabak, baseline, Christie open, and he's got it. Doug Christie, who's acquired in midseason from the Knicks, and averaged 10 points a game for the Raptors.
Last year, he shot 43% in threes, so the range is definitely there.
No one has come off the bench yet with less than 7.5 to go. Ewing trying to beat Tabak baseline and is fouled. Patrick Ewing going to the hoop, and that's exactly what Jeff Van Gundy wants to see the big guy get to do more this season.
Well, last year his foul shot attempts were down, and what they're trying to do is get him in enough situations where he'll take it strong to the basket and not settle for the jump shot. Now, in the early part of the year, we'll see him going to the hole. But as the season wears on, fatigue sets in. Let's see what happens in the second half of the year and at playoff time.
Jean Tabak committing the foul, and Ewing, who shot 76% from the free throw line last year, hits the first. Knicks trail the Raptors by 5. Ewing nearing the top, second in block shots, and in the top 10 in 4 categories last season. 12-8 to score in favor of Toronto. Opening game, don't forget, here on TNT, the Lakers and the Suns, and Shaquille O'Neal's debut in the second half of our doubleheader coming up after this one. Pick and spot up to Walt Williams, who hits a 3. Williams, with his second from downtown, now has 6 of the Raptors' 15 points.
You can see the Knicks tried to trap the pick and roll, and the rotation was late.
Double team on Buck Williams. Ewing with a top pass to Larry Johnson.
They had bad spacing there. The Knicks have bad spacing. One defender was playing 2 offensive people.
And an offensive foul called against Larry Johnson. A timeout with under 7 to go.
On the screen right here, as Damon Stoudemire comes over the top, you're going to see the screener move over and spot up, putting the pressure on this defender to get to him. Now watch it as it develops, because the Knicks always trap the screen and roll. Instead, screen and spot up. The defender is late, in your face 3.
New faces for the Toronto Raptors. Marcus Camby, who has had the ankle problems that Hubie referred to. Benoit Benjamin, Walt Williams, Mark Hughes is on the injured list, and Donald Whiteside, an interesting story as the 4th guard. He was a teacher last year in Chicago. And of course, Hubert Davis, the ex-Knick. Here is Marcus Camby, the player of the year in the NCAA and the 2nd overall pick in the draft. Well, you just showed on the replay Williams with the long-range shot, and that has been the big story, as Toronto 3 of 4 from downtown. The Knicks only 0 for 2. That's a 9-0 edge. And that really is the difference in the game thus far.
Now, right now they're playing an open offense, and you can see screening away on the opposite side of the floor. Cutters coming into the lane.
Williams driving baseline against Larry Johnson and is pushed. And a foul against Larry Johnson. That'll be his 2nd personal foul. So both Walt Williams and Larry Johnson, the starting small forwards, each with 2 fouls.
Well, this is going to be Larry Johnson's test, because night in and night out, 36 to 38 minutes, he's going to get a steady diet of small forwards where he has to chase the kick, not just posting up off of staggered screens and double screens. He must stay out of foul trouble.
There's John Starks, the newly anointed 6th man, and the question is, can he handle that role? He was used to being a starter. So far he has, playing with a bruised left knee, and so Starks is in the game and will play a lot tonight.
John Starks is playing Christie as a 2 guard. Allen Houston moved up front to play Walt Williams at small forward.
Basically, the Knicks going with 3 guards. There's Williams. Too many pump fakes. Lost it to Buck Williams. And the turnover gives the ball over to the Knicks. Raptors lead the Knicks 15-8 in the first quarter. Allen Houston, baseline shot. Houston averaging nearly 20 a game, and a devastating long-range shooter. And losing him will really hurt the Detroit Pistons big time this year.
Well, that was a pretty good.
Damon Stoudemire picked up by Ewing momentarily. The double team. And they go inside to Tabak, and he travels. So the turnover, 2nd in a row, 2 times down for the Raptors.
The designated rotator for the Knicks has always been Oakley, and anytime he's not here, it's difficult for them. Just watch the stutter dribble here. Now the explosion. Now watch how he elevates. See, he's 6'6", over the top.
And the basket by Allen Houston on the lay-in, his 2nd straight hoop. So you saw the replay of one and then the other one. So if Houston's starting to get his motor running now. Brings the Knicks to within 3 with 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, I like what the Knicks are doing with Stoudemire. Charlie Ward picking him up down the floor.
Ward tips it away, and on a turnover, Ewing now back to Ward behind the back peg. Starks from Houston, and he couldn't let it roll, but Starks gets it again. Great hustle by the Knicks defensively in 3 different instances. Here's Ewing working against Tabak. And Popeye Jones boxing out Buck Williams impressively.
Yes, he did. Moved him right out of there.
Stoudemire comes back, misses a 3. Tabak follows up, and he draws the foul. And all of a sudden, the pace is quickened in the last minute.
The Raptors are an excellent offensive rebounding team. The reason is, in their offense, they keep the middle open. People are slicing to the board. So when a shot goes up, you have to pay attention defensively and block out your man.
John Starks committing the foul for the Knicks, and Jan Tabak, who played for Croatia in the Olympics in Atlanta this year. He led the Raptors in rebounding in preseason. And now we'll see Carlos Rogers, who was in the starting lineup a year ago for Toronto, replacing.
Walt Williams. Out for the Huskies, Buck Williams.
Will be Buck. Walt Williams goes out, and Herb Williams has replaced Buck Williams. So we have just named 3 Williams of the 4 players who have come in and gone out.
Right.
That's a first. Missed free throw by Tabak, and the Knicks with the ball trailing by 4. Starks finding Herb Williams. Ward gets it in, and missing is Starks. Starks gets the basket. And now it is a 2-point game, 16-14.
Anytime that you play against the 3-quarter court trap, try to get the ball into the middle of the floor like the Knicks did, and what you'll have is a 3-on-2.
Tabak fouled inside. Good pass from Doug Christie at the point.
With the contact, the Knicks number 32.
Tabak will go to the free throw line. Herb Williams committing his first foul.
Now this is just a beautiful pass. Starts down inside, got behind the trap. Anytime that the ball is in the middle of the floor, once you get the ball over half court, you would usually find yourself in a 3-on-2 advantage.
Tabak misses the free throw. 1 for 3 now from the line. He was a member of the Houston Rocket championship team back in 95, just 2 years ago. Interesting that the one thing that has eluded Patrick Ewing has been the ring, and there are a lot of players on these teams who have been on championship teams, not big roles, but they have the championship ring. Beating the trap nicely. Starks, alley-oop to Ewing. Misses the layup. Jones the rebound. It's his 5th rebound for Popeye. Christie traveled.
Traveling violation call, possession to the Knicks.
What we're having here, Dick, is on that foul shot, Toronto came down the floor and picked up 100, meaning full court. Gave the early traps. That was the first time they showed it. You saw what happened. The Knicks get an easy shot, they miss it. Everything is a fatigue factor and the unexpected. You're going to see it right now. See, they're playing you man-to-man. When the ball comes in, go for the trap. Now, you have an advantage, but you're not accustomed to playing this way. You go for the lob, Ewing misses. Now, the pace is yours. The key, though, is please do not turn it over. A year ago, they led the league in turnovers, and in the exhibition season, they averaged 20 a game.
Knicks, the Raptors are over the limit, and so the Knicks, with a penalty, Ward misses the first free throw. And Ward makes the both. 17-16 with 4:12 remaining in the first quarter. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown here in Toronto for the opening of the season. Stoudemire driving the hoop, tipped up and in by Carlos Rogers. Rogers gets the basket. And Hubie, I've been here for other sports. This crowd is like it is for a Toronto Blue Jay game. They like to sit and watch as if they are watching the opera.
Beautiful move. Beautiful move by Patrick that time. Now, I'll tell you, Dick, both teams now are getting what they want. They're getting high percentage shots. And the tempo, if Toronto can keep this tempo up for the 48 minutes, you know, it should be an exciting game.
Christie open for 3, and Doug Christie, that's the 4th from downtown for the Raptors. Christie and Stoudemire each with 5. Walt Williams has 6 points. He's on the bench right now. And John Starks with a 2 hits the basket, and the Raptors lead to 2, 22-20 with 3:14 to go in the first quarter. Now Christie working his way in against John Starks. Spins out. Tabak fighting his way for the offensive rebound and tied up, and they'll have the jump ball.
I'll give him a lot of credit. Right up over the top of Ewing, tore the ball right out of Patrick's hand. Now just watch as this shot goes up. Keep an eye in the center of the screen. You're going to see him come right up over the top. Now that is his 3rd offensive rebound. He's making things happen.
With a of the swing era.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. How about an opening night highlight? And how about the Philadelphia 76ers dynamic backcourt? Number 1 pick Allen Iverson up top. The second-year man, Jerry Stackhouse. That's going to be a fun bunch to watch. And tonight they're hanging with the Milwaukee Bucks. Second period down by 1. Let's go back to Toronto. Dick and Hubie, guys.
All right, Ernie, thank you very much. The Toronto Raptors lead the New York Knicks 22-20 with 3:06 to go. Knicks' only lead was the first basket of the game. Suns and Lakers come up next on TNT. Next Tuesday, the Lakers travel to New York to go against these Knicks, and on Wednesday on TBS, the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. Hubie, you and I will be there in Miami to see Michael Jordan's first appearance on TBS or TNT this season. And rookie John Wallace has come in now for Allen Houston. Wallace, picked from the University of Syracuse, surprisingly got to the NCAA championship game. Whistle, and a foul is called against the Toronto, and it's John Tabak, and he picks up his second foul. There is Wallace, who has looked good in preseason.
And I know that now that he's with the Knicks, I know that maybe you can cut back on your donation to the Syracuse Booster Fund.
I would never happen. In fact, it may increase a little bit. Meanwhile, Hubert Davis, who the Raptors are counting on for long-range shooting, is in the game, and now the first appearance for Marcus Camby, the player of the year and the second pick. He has been bothered by sprained ankles, both ankles, one just last week when he slipped on the floor in Western Canada, and he's making his NBA debut here.
Well, it's interesting, Dick, because they have been playing him at the 3 position, small forward. It's a tremendous adjustment for him. And his first minute on the floor, he's playing Patrick Ewing as a defensive center.
Welcome to the league. Tipped away by John Wallace into the hands of Starks. Ewing's free throw gave him 7 points to lead everyone. And there's a block. Marcus Camby with a block. Impressive in his first defensive outing. Here's Stoudemire working his way around Charlie Ward. Finds Camby. Cuts it through. And that is the future 1-2 punch of the Raptors. Maybe not so much the future.
Camby very, very quick.
John Wallace hits the jumper. All of a sudden, we're seeing a flurry of rookies and second-year players showing what they can do, and Toronto has a lead of 1.
Big thing for Toronto right now. Slow it down just a little bit and stop turning the ball over. You're winning the battle of the boards. You're getting good shots. Just don't turn the ball over as much.
So you can go too far with the frenzy thing, right?
Yeah, right.
And Stoudemire gets it inside to Rogers. Thought he was fouled, nothing doing. Blocked shot now by Ewing. And here comes Charlie Ward, pulls up for the 3. Off the glass, Ward after the tip from Herb Williams. And a new possession for the Knicks with about a minute and a half remaining in this first quarter. And Herb Williams misses a baby hook out of bounds. And it is still Knicks ball with 13 seconds on the clock.
Now keep an eye on Marcus Camby coming in here right now. Last year, he had, in his 3 years at Massachusetts, he had 300 blocks, which is 4th in the history of the league. And at the other end, he's sending that baby home. So athletic at 7 foot. He only weighs 220 pounds. They know that he must go on a crash diet to build the upper part of his body, because over 82 games, they're going to wear down his chest.
So defensively is where he's going to have the problems. John Starks misses a 3, and the rebound by Stoudemire. Several new players into the game, and here is Rodney Rogers. Stoudemire last year averaged over 9 assists a game. Rogers with his second basket. Toronto is up by 3. The Knicks have a new point guard, Scott Brooks, formerly with Dallas. Signed when Childs went out as a backup behind Ward. No basket, and a pushing foul is called inside.
That was a beautiful pass by Patrick. Herb Williams' man left him at the top of the circle to help double team, and Herb just came right down the lane. Patrick found him with a beautiful pass in traffic.
Camby's foul and Herb Williams going to the free throw line. So Herb Williams, Patrick Ewing, John Starks, John Wallace, and Scott Brooks in there now. Herb Williams playing a power forward position. For Toronto, Marcus Camby and Damon Stoudemire, Rodney Rogers. Or Carlos Rogers. I said Rodney the last time. It's Carlos. Rodney must play for the Raptors. I'm looking at the Huskies right now. Stoudemire blocking foul as he drives the lane.
With the ball,
foul is
the Knicks number 33, Patrick Ewing, picks up his second personal foul of the game.
In this first quarter, Damon Stoudemire, when he takes his time and sets up and picks his spot, blowing by Charlie Ward and now Brooks. He should be able to beat them off the dribble and create and get the advantage inside of the painted area of the lane.
Damon Stoudemire averaged 19 a game, played 41 minutes, and that's one of the things that the Raptors would like to cut down this year. Is Buck Williams gives Patrick Ewing a rest. Ewing goes out having scored 7 points. And one of the problems in why Brendan Malone no longer is coach of Toronto is that he played his starters too much, including Damon Stoudemire. He played 41 minutes, but he won 21 games. Philosophy and management different with us.
Well, they also lost 17 games by 3 points or less. They played all the good teams. Now you can see right now that the trap is definitely upsetting the second unit.
Buck Williams misses the shot. Loose ball, and we will have a jump ball called by Hugh Evans with 40.3 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
If you come out early in the season with a good, strong, aggressive, trapping, full court and three-quarter court situation, you'll cause problems. Teams are unfamiliar with it. They have not been practicing during the 30 days working against full court pressure. So you can get the game into up-tempo.
Good hustle by John Wallace, saving the ball before it went out of bounds into the hands of Scott Brooks. Brooks and Starks at guard. John Wallace posting up now against Carlos Rogers. Up in move, but walking, traveling called against John Wallace with 24.1 seconds remaining in the first quarter in what has been a high-scoring first quarter.
That was an excellent call. He definitely moved the pivot foot when he made that up and under move.
Rogers will inbound. He's got Stoudemire, Davis, Camby, and Sharon Wright, who's been bothered by back spasms, did not start the game, but has been in there the last several minutes. Playing for the last shot.
Wright is an excellent low post scorer.
Stoudemire working against Brooks. Oh, ripped away by Brooks. Great play by Brooks. He has Starks, who stuffs it through with 0.5 of a second to go. And the veteran Scott Brooks in his 9th season with a big defensive play. And that will do it for the first quarter, as Damon Stoudemire had 7 points. Ewing led the Knicks with 7. Stoudemire also had 4 assists. And after one, the score, Toronto 28, the New York Knicks 26. 50 years ago to the day, the New York Knickerbockers and the Toronto Huskies of the BAA. There's the box score. We'll have it memorized by the third quarter for sure.
Look, we had the weave. We had no one up at the rim level, and we saw the two-handed set, all in that little piece. At the end of the first quarter, Knicks shooting 47%, Toronto 47. Foul tries, Knicks 6 for 9, Toronto 6 for 8, and Toronto winning the battle of the boards with 6 offensive rebounds, 14-8.
Sharon Wright working baseline against Buck Williams, and it's knocked away. Good defense by Buck. Here's John Starks pushing the ball up. Starks will see a lot of action at point guard as well tonight. Here is John Wallace. Over and under goes in, and Marcus Camby is there, and a foul will send John Wallace to the free throw line. And as Jeff Van Gundy told us today, and referring to Wallace, he said he has a knack for getting the ball in the basket. A second foul called against Camby sends Wallace to the line.
Well, you know, during the summer, Dick, you know, he came in. He was overweight. He was not very coachable, and he was off to a very bad start. And McCarty was ahead of him. when they came back to the regular camp, he's definitely changed his ways. He's lost some weight. He has excellent offensive moves. He's doing a terrific job. And all of a sudden, he is paying a lot of attention because only one of these rookies can get playing time.
It looks like he'd be the guy. 29 points for Syracuse in the championship game against Kentucky when he gave the Wildcats and the rest of the Orangemen all they could handle. 28-27, Toronto leading by 1. Allen Houston back in the game for the Knicks. They go again to Sharon Wright. Blocked the last time. He makes good this time.
He can do that. He is really a horse down inside.
Allen Houston with the ball now with Starks in the backcourt. And it's Larry Johnson with John Wallace and Buck Williams up front. So Patrick Ewing starts this second quarter on the Knick bench. He scored 7 in the first quarter. Foul before the shot by Buck, and he is pushed.
Now, I would go to Buck Williams right now. Carlos Rogers is playing behind him. Buck Williams, an excellent low post scorer on the left side of the floor. In the early going, Toronto already has 10 turnovers. 15 is bad for a team for a game. They already have 10.
First foul against Rogers. Wallace going in against Allen Houston, shooting over Hubert Davis. Knocked away, and coming out of the pack will be Doug Christie. Raptors lead by 3. The only Knick lead was the first basket of the game. Turnaround by Carlos Rogers misses, and a loose ball foul is called, and that will be against Marcus Camby. So Camby came in and made a spectacular basket and a block. Now has 3 persons.
Right now, Toronto very big up front. Camby at 6'11", Carlos Rogers at 6'11", Sharon Wright at 6'10".
And now they're going to bring in Popeye Jones, who started the game at power forward, replacing Camby. Marcus Camby, getting his first taste of NBA action, goes out with 3 fouls and 2 points.
Dick, this team has 6 players over 6'10", and they can just interchange people. They really have some talent.
Knocked away, and Popeye Jones claiming that Starks had turned the ball over. It is still Knick ball with 14 seconds on the shot clock. Completed about 30 seconds, 2.5 minutes of this second quarter. 30-27 in favor of Toronto. Knicks swept Toronto 4-0 last year.
They get Hubert Davis on a grab down on the baseline. They ran a staggered screen for Allen Houston. Hubert Davis definitely grabbed him as he was coming off the screen.
Davis, of course, counted on for his long-range shooting, his 3-point shooting. Tracy Murray now with the Washington Bullets. They had to fill that hole, and so that's what they hope Hubert Davis will give them. Starks as Larry Johnson. This is what the Knicks want. Low post offense from Johnson, but a foul is called by Nolan Fine before the move.
Last year at playoff time, Dick, if Patrick Ewing was in foul trouble and he was out of the game at any time, the Knicks had no post up. Right now, you can see right here, you cannot guard him one-on-one. You're either going to foul Larry Johnson or he's going to take you to the basket, shoot a high percentage. He is an excellent low post, high field goal percentage performer.
Carlos Rogers with his second personal foul. Toronto has committed 12 fouls already, and so they are over the limit, and we have completed less than 2 minutes of the second quarter. So that the turnovers and the fouls really, I was going to say holding them down, but they've been leading throughout this entire game.
Well, it's interesting that Larry Johnson who's normally in the 70s on the foul line, only shot 53% in the exhibition this year, and he's 1 for 2 right here.
30-28 to score. Question for the Knicks: how will their defense hold up with all of the moves they've made to shore up their offensive capabilities? And there is Hubert Davis. Guns it in. Davis with a 2-point basket, his first points of the game. And the Raptors are up by 4. 32-28. So Anthony Mason, who is sent to Charlotte for Larry Johnson, who has the ball. Remember, Charles Oakley not playing, serving a suspension for his part in the fight with Charles Barkley. And Allen Houston backs up, misses long range. John Wallace comes down with the ball, keeps it alive.
Allen Houston just forced a jump shot. Larry Johnson had Christie on him in a low post. You have to see those. You have to take advantage when you have the advantage inside.
John Wallace working his way in, gets Sharon right in the air and draws the foul. Wallace, a very heady rookie in his first game.
Well, he handles himself well. He does not force the action from the offensive end. When they, at 6:30 tonight, Dick, they were running all of their rookies out early, and they worked for 20 minutes on their offensive moves. And I was very impressed with not only the athleticism, but when he elevates, he always gets a nice release.
Interesting, when the Knicks arrived in Toronto, what each player received when he got to his room.
Yeah, each player has his own VCR. Then he gets an 8-minute tape, 4 minutes about the other team's offense, and then 4 minutes of guard play and 4 minutes of front court play. That is delivered by the trainer and the equipment man. There's Mike's on this, wearing Danny Whalen, the old Knick trainer, his old shirt from the old days.
But it's just phenomenal, you know, with the way preparation has increased as Hubert Davis is fouled shooting from the baseline. I mean, for each player to really focus in on the game, to see who his opponent is, and to be able to break it down, really gets your mind in the game when you're on the road.
Well, a lot of teams just do that at home, and they give the guy the tape. The guy takes it home. But for the Knicks to take the extra time to take this on their charter, and then have the trainers and the equipment man, Timmy Walsh, deliver it to their rooms, and it gives them that little extra edge. Anything to keep the games close.
It's better than watching The Lion King, you know, on a cassette. Sure. That's Jeff Van Gundy's influence. He came along last year, replacing Don Nelson as coach. Did a good job down the stretch. Here's Hubert Davis, formerly with the Knicks, as backup shooting guard. He makes 1 out of 2. There's the trap again with under 9 minutes to go in the first half. 4-point lead for the Raptors.
See, I wouldn't take it off. I would keep it up. Now, that's the first time that they retrapped as soon as you got over half court.
Houston going right to Larry Johnson. Strong move to the hoop. And Larry Johnson, who averaged nearly 21 a game, that was the second best scoring season of his career, gets 2 to bring New York to within a pair.
Dick, they do not have a player who can play him on the box. He's just too strong.
Carlos Rogers tries a fancy behind-the-back pass in the lane, throws it away, and yet another turnover by Toronto. That's their 10th in the game. They're not at the halfway mark by any point. Houston firing it up for 3, forcing it a little bit, as Hubie has pointed out a moment ago, but the Knicks keep possession. Houston again going, and he finally hits the 3. Allen Houston, and that's the Knicks' first from downtown tonight.
Well, he's an excellent three-point shooter. The range factor is there, but you know yourself, the Toronto with the traps are getting the Knicks to play helter-skelter. They're shooting quick, but unfortunately they're not getting the defensive rebound.
Knicks lead for the first time.
The NBA continues with music of the 50s.
The Target Center, number 4 pick in the draft, Stephon Marbury, takes Avery Johnson off the dribble, then comes down on the foot of Cadillac Anderson. Down he goes. 5 minutes into his pro career, he leaves the court. We are told now he's kind of running around, got it taped up in the hallway. He's going to see if he can play in the second half of this thing. 25-23, Timberwolves leading by a deuce. Back to Toronto.
All right, thank you very much, Ernie. So the Timberwolves, who now with 2 young players, hope Marbury's all right. You don't want to get a guy out in the very first game of the season.
Well, he had an excellent exhibition season, played well, picking up Brankovic from Yugoslavia as a shot blocker has really helped them.
Offensive foul calling against the Huskies, number 3, Sean Tabak. That's his 3rd.
We'd like to show you the trap after a field goal. You'll see the ball come back here and be dribbled up the court. Now you see they have not showed the second trap. Now just watch what happens. You got a power forward handling the ball. Now stop it right there. Now here they come with another trap. And if they continue this and do their rotations, they're going to be fine.
Allen Houston beating Buck Williams for the basket. And a delay of game warning against the Knicks after the basket. The Knicks lead now 36-33,
Delay of game warning called against
which is their biggest lead with 7:48 remaining in the first half. David Stoudemire returning into the game at guard with Hubert Davis. It's Popeye Jones, Carlos Rogers, and John Tabak, who is returned in there for Toronto.
Good rotation that time by the Knicks. Trapped up screen and roll, and then picked up the spot up man.
Stoudemire guarded by Starks. Over Starks, misses, and the rebound. Allen Houston had the first hand on it, knocked away, and Houston comes out with it. The Knicks are running, and a pass to John Wallace, bit too low, and now picked off by Davis. Stoudemire back, and all of a sudden, the pace is picked up considerably.
You made a good point, Dick. Bad pass by Allen Houston at the feet of John Wallace.
And a whistle and a foul away from the ball. The Knicks have run off 7 in a row to open up that 36-33 lead, and Larry Johnson has now picked up his 3rd personal foul. And a few words for Hugh Evans. He'll come out of the game replaced by Patrick Ewing. Ewing scored 7 points, had 2 personals in the first quarter, and has had a long rest.
Major thing for Toronto, take your time when you get the basketball. You already have 12 turnovers. You're only down 3 points. You have the tempo at your tempo. This is what you wanted, but you must get better shot attempts, and you can't shoot when you turn the ball over.
Under 7 minutes to go in the half. Knicks trailing most of this game, have taken the lead now, 36-33. Carlos Rogers looking inside for Popeye Jones, fronted by Ewing off the foot on the dribble, and another turnover. That's really killing Toronto's chances. They would have a much bigger lead at this point. Ewing over Sharon Wright, basket counts, and a foul. And Ewing now with a chance to go into double figures.
The Knicks are fronting all the low post players, and if you don't clear out the backside, now you're going to see it right here. This is just a nice pass down inside to Patrick, and a good power move right into the face of Sharon Wright. There is no way that they can play Patrick Ewing and Larry Johnson one-on-one in the low post.
Missed the free throw, and the Knicks keep possession. Sharon Wright with his 2nd foul. Walt Williams has entered the game. He started and scored 6 points before going out with a couple of fouls. Allen Houston working his way to the hoop. Tries the tip. Fought for underneath. And taken away. Popeye Jones got it out to David Stoudemire. Nearly halfway through the 2nd quarter. Pass into Wright. Working against Ewing. Good touch. Missed the shot. Tipped away. Starks had it. And now has it again. Good persistence by John Starks. Coming off the bench tonight, as he will for the Knicks, but seeing a lot of playing time. Knicks have run off 9 in a row, but Starks throws this one away and turns it over to Toronto.
John Starks was so determined to post up Damon Stoudemire. He yelled at Ewing to get out of there.
You see a 5'10" guy, and you're 6'5", you know, I don't blame him.
The old story, never leave your feet unless you're going to shoot the ball.
Tipped away, and last touch by the Knicks. And Charlie Ward, who started the game at point guard, will come in for John Starks. Starks goes out having scored 6 points, and when Starks came in, the Knicks had an up-tempo in their offensive style. Walt Williams, who was renounced by the Miami Heat. And of course, he could be a steal if he delivers offensively for the Raptors. And here's Stoudemire, hits a 3 downtown. David Stoudemire with his 2nd 3-pointer now has 10 points, and he is the game's high scorer.
When a team runs the motion offense, defensively, you must get out in the face of the player who catches the ball. Everyone else can play off his man.
Ewing travels before the shot. They're going to call more of traveling to the big men this year.
You can see Stoudemire comes right off the screen, and they just do not fight through. Anytime that the man is coming from the opposite side of the ball, you can lay in the lane and then just match up with him. Anytime he catches, you got to be in his face.
5 minutes remaining in the first half. Walt Williams from the top spins in and out, and the rebound taken down by Buck Williams. Buck Williams in his 16th year in the NBA. Offensive foul called against Patrick Ewing.
Watch out, Patrick.
And Ewing has to be held back by Buck Williams. That is his 3rd personal foul, and hit with a technical by Nolan Fine.
Patrick has got to be careful here now.
He could get tossed.
Yes, he could. Yeah, they should intercept him right now and don't let him get close to the referee. See, Patrick was upset. He thought that the defender took the charge inside and too close to the basket. The unwritten rule in the NBA. You can see it concerned Jeff Van Gundy, but he's not complaining here. Patrick definitely challenged. But Patrick is upset because in the collision, Patrick went hard to the floor.
Stoudemire hits the technical. Here it is.
You're going to see now Patrick makes his move down inside. See, he's saying you're taking it the unwritten rule. He felt that when you undercut him that time, you see, he just felt that he went down inside, too close to the rim. Now, we all know that in high school and college, that would be an automatic charge. In the NBA, depending upon the refereeing of the night, they have that unwritten code of about 6 feet from the rim where you've got to be out of that area and you cannot take a charge. That's why Patrick's upset.
And he got a technical foul and a 20-second timeout called by the Knicks, who lead the Toronto Raptors 38-37. Ewing, the high point man, along with Allen Houston with 9 points. Damon Stoudemire leads the Raptors with 11. 4:49 remain in this first quarter. The New York Knicks opening up the season with new faces. Ernie Grunfeld, very busy during the offseason, getting the likes of Allen Houston as a free agent. He was the big fish in the pond. Larry Johnson in the trade from Charlotte for Anthony Mason. And of course, they don't have Charles Oakley, who is a tough rebounder. Here's the Knicks story. Great drafts, too, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Three terrific picks, but then the addition of Buck Williams, because when Oakley's out of there, you have a quality defensive post guy and also someone who can board.
Herb Williams has come in for Patrick Ewing and a block by Buck Williams. Buck Williams, one of the better low-post defenders for many years in the NBA. Allen Houston hits a three-point basket. That is Houston's second. He has both Knick baskets from downtown as New York opens a 4-point lead. Their biggest lead was 5. Stoudemire working against Charlie Ward. Overplaying and gambling for the turnover was Buck Williams. Doug Christie in the game drives the baseline and draws the foul.
You can see that the Knicks are sending all the drivers to the baseline, and then they're rotating to the spot. What happened that time was Herb Williams did not get to the spot. He played it rather soft and caused the foul situation.
Second personal against Herb Williams.
Correction, they're taking the ball to the sidelines.
These teams, the Knicks and the Toronto Huskies, started the NBA 50 years ago at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. They're wearing the retro uniforms, as many teams will throughout the season. So you see the Huskies on their jerseys, and he joined us late, but it is the Raptors. And a turnaround by Sharon Wright, and the Knicks with the ball in a 4-point lead.
I'm impressed tonight with the rebounding so far of Allen Houston and John Starks at that 2-guard position. Now Starks is playing the point for the Knicks, but they're going with 3 guards right now.
Jeff Van Gundy said, we go with 3 guards, we are going to have to get rebounding effort. Goaltending is called, and Buck Williams gets credit for the basket. Sharon Wright guilty of goaltending, and the Knicks now with a 6-point lead with 3:35 remaining in the first half. Toronto led by 2 after 1 quarter, has led most of the game, but right now the Knicks with their biggest margin.
High screen and roll.
Stoudemire working against Ward, and the screen by Sharon Wright. Walt Williams, Christie, touch pass. And the basket by Popeye Jones.
Excellent ball movement and a very good look by Christie to hit Popeye, who was wide open.
In a drought, the Raptors have not done much offensively as of late. They trail by 4. Charlie Ward starting his 2nd game as a pro. Started one against Portland last year. Missed shot by Starks. Herb Williams gets it out to Ward. Tipped away. And on a runner, John Starks. When Starks was in there for the Knicks, they outscored Toronto by 10. So he's in there now to give them impetus. Right on a great feed from Damon Stoudemire.
Way to send it home, big fella.
45-41, and Allen Houston hits the floor, and a Toronto foul. That one will be against Williams, and for Walt Williams, his 3rd.
Timeout on the floor, charge to...
And a timeout with 2:34 remaining in the first half. We'll be right back.
Well, 50 years ago, Ozzie Scheckman received his first hero's welcome. That was after serving 4 years in World War II. He is now being honored for the first NBA basket. Was it a set play, and what was the significance back then?
No, it was no set play. Back in those days, we played a weaving, figure eight, pick, screens, that type of ball. So, in my opinion, it was a simple give and go. Fake direction one way, went to the basket, return pass, simple give and go.
At one point, you were a candidate for I've Got a Secret, later the answer to a trivia contest. How has all this celebrity status changed your life?
It's unreal. I'm 77 years old now. All this recognition has been unbelievable. Like the last hurrah for him.
He has one more wish. He wants Hubie to illustrate that give and go for him. We'll get tape for you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
He'll shoot one.
All right, thanks very much. I'll tell you one thing. He said it wasn't a set play. I know that they were using one of your books from your clinics to set up that play, that give and go.
It just goes to show you that the game has not really changed. All you do is you pass and you cut, and if you catch the defender looking the wrong way, you're going in for a layup.
Now, were there more printings of the book that Ozzie Sheckman used back then in '46? Allen Houston hits both free throws, and the Knicks lead 47-41 with 2:32 and running remaining in the first half.
The Knicks are doing a better job defensively, and on the boards, out-rebounding Toronto 10-2 in this quarter.
Knicks with the rebounding. Of course, offensive rebounding is something they really didn't do that well during preseason. Another Toronto turnover. 13th of this first half. Buck Williams called for the offensive foul. So Buck Williams now with his first foul. Ewing and Larry Johnson on the bench, each with 3 fouls, and Ewing also with a technical.
Well, you're going to see now. You see where he's taking a charge right now. He's inside the lane, and that's totally inconsistent with what usually is called. But Nolan Fine is consistent. That's 2 he's called now. Jeff Van Gundy is talking to him right now on the sideline. He's got to be careful that he doesn't pick up a technical.
David Stoudemire, Hubert Davis in guard for the Raptors. Known as the Huskies here. That's what the team was in that first year. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. Here is Teron Wright, the former 76er, with a turnaround baseline. 4 Knicks were under the basket for that rebound.
The Knicks are not double teaming Wright at all. They're saying, hey, we're going to play him one-on-one. Just get to the defensive board if he misses.
Coming off the screen is Allen Houston, and the rebound taken down by Carlos Rogers. So 6-point game. A lot more up-tempo here in the second quarter than we had in the early going. David Stoudemire working his way in over Charlie Ward and draws the foul. He was persistent, and he wanted to get Ward to foul him.
Well, Charlie Ward has done an excellent job, and he's forcing him to take the jump shots.
Coming up on the Nike halftime report, a preview of Shaq's debut in L.A. Opening night scores and highlights with Ernie Johnson and Cheryl Miller in our studios in Atlanta. New faces in new places as the season kicks off. Tip-off tonight. And a lot of festive atmosphere here in Toronto as Stoudemire misses the free throw. There is Stoudemire going against Ward. And Stoudemire has had the edge, and not a surprise considering it's the Rookie of the Year against a guy who is really starting just his second pro game at point guard.
Well, the other point is that he has taken so many shots. Charlie Ward has only had a few opportunities. He is more in a power game. The other guy's in an open floor, so naturally he's going to get more shot attempts.
5-point lead for the Knicks. Allen Houston. Buck Williams misses from the baseline. That was Herb Williams who missed the shot. Now here come the Raptors with a 3-on-2. Davis trying to get it inside, and a great play made by Herb Williams to save it from going out of bounds and give it over back to the Knicks. Yet another turnover. That's number 14 in this first half by Toronto. Under a minute to go. 14 on the shot clock and 56 plus on the game clock. Allen Houston working against Doug Christie. Tries to get the pace on the pass on the baseline to Buck Williams. Can't do it. Knocked away. Steal by Toronto. Stoudemire has it wrapped out of bounds by Herb Williams. It is still Raptors ball.
If I'm playing for the Raptors, I'm upset because we're out in the open floor. We have 3-on-1, 3-on-2, and all we're getting is turnovers, and we're getting bad shot selection. Give the ball up to the guy when he's open. Time and time again, they miss the guy when he's open, and then they try to force the shot or the pass.
And Carlos Rogers is held by Buck Williams as he goes up for the shot. You know what is really surprising about this first half? We have not had one illegal defense call.
The defense is not getting enough time to get into their stance because there was a turnover.
Okay. There is always an explanation for every theory. So here's Carlos Rogers on the free throw line. Rogers, in his third year from Tennessee State, came on strong toward the end of last year. John Wallace, rookie from Syracuse, will replace Buck Williams, who goes out having scored 4 points. 31.9 seconds remain in this first half.
Rogers has a lot of talent. 6'11", he can play small forward, power forward. He can finish on the break. He's got a nice little outside game. Unfortunately, he's a 54% foul shooter.
They only make 1 out of 2. Ward working against Stoudemire. 13 on the shot clock. Differential about 6+ seconds. And knocked away by Christie. Risky pass cross court by Ward. Lucky it wasn't stolen. Doug Christie very nearly picked it off.
We are seeing some terrible passing, all right, at both ends of the floor. And you're wondering, why are you trying to make the sensational play? Just make the easy pass.
There's the shot clock as we wind down to 3 seconds. Starks inside Wallace and fouled. John Wallace at the 24-second buzzer is fouled, and he'll go to the line with 7 seconds remaining in this first half. That is Sharon Wright with his 3rd foul. So the front line people, Walt Williams, Jean Tabak, and Sharon Wright, all with 3 fouls, as does Marcus Camby, who played all too briefly and picked up 3 in a hurry. Well, the Raptors, who had a high-scoring first quarter, leading 28-26, have scored only 15 points in this second quarter. Darrell Walker, who was an assistant last year with Toronto, once a #1 draft pick by the Knicks back in '83. You coached him.
Well, Darrell Walker played for me for 2 years, and he was a Knick for 3 seasons, was traded to Denver, from Denver to Washington, and then from Washington to Detroit and Chicago. He had a 10-year career. Also, Brendan Malone was my assistant in New York at that same time.
So a strong relationship with some of the principals in this game.
Yeah, and you know, Brendan was a very established high school coach in New York City at Power Memorial, and from there he went on into the college ranks and was an assistant at your alma mater, Syracuse, before he became the head coach of Rhode Island. From Rhode Island, he came with me with the New York Knicks, and then was on Chuck Daly's bench during the time that they won the 2 championships.
That was the big time for him. Not to put aside the time he coached under you, but Daly, I don't want to sweep that under the rug. So
you mean to tell me the rings and the paydays were better?
20-second timeout called by the Raptors after John Wallace hit his first free throw with 8.1 seconds showing on the clock. Tell you what, you can go down the roster of NBA coaches, and it's like a family tree. Sooner or later, they ran into and had a relationship or worked with my partner here, UB Brown, at some point or another, either in college or pro ranks.
Yeah, an interesting thing about John Wallace was the fact that he broke the Syracuse scoring record last year with 845 points. Dave Bing had that record since 1966. He had 794 points.
Bing did it in 3 years.
Yeah, so Dave Bing,
not a bad player, but Bing got that in 3 years, and it took Wallace 4 years to do it. And Wallace, of course, stayed in for his senior year when a lot of people thought he'd come out. Christie beating Sharon Wright with the basket, so they completed it. They didn't turn it over. It's a 4-point Knick lead with 0.1 of a second remaining, and John Starks takes the last shot and misses. And so we've completed the first half. Patrick Ewing and Larry Johnson, 16 points between them, but each with 3 personal fouls. And after the first half, here. Welcome back to the NBA on TNT. First game of the season and the 50th anniversary of the start of the NBA. You're looking at downtown Toronto. At the half, the New York Knicks lead the Toronto Raptors 49-45. A very big, Hubie, second quarter for the New York Knicks. 40% field goal defense. They out-rebounded Toronto, forced some turnovers, and Allen Houston scored 8 of his 12 points in the second.
Well, they did a very nice job on the boards, dominating right there. The problem with the Knicks, they've missed 7 foul shots, and they must get Ewing and Larry Johnson going here right now. They only have 8 shot attempts between them. At the other end, Toronto shooting themselves in the foot with the 14 turnovers and 4 key front court players with 3 fouls.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights and some spectacular ones involving Marcus Camby, among other things.
Well, this is a great move and a nice block by Camby, and then he sends it home here. Now, he only played 4 minutes, and he had 3 fouls. At this end of the floor, Stark sending it down off the bench, did an excellent job with 8 quick points. And here we have Patrick Ewing in that controversial play, picks up the technical. I agree with Patrick. He was definitely up in the air. That should not have been an offensive foul. Now there's Stoudemire hitting the 3. He was 2 for 4 in threes and had a decent half, scoring 12 points.
And there you see the field goal percentage pretty close. The Knicks at 46, Raptors 44. Rebounding story is close. So the turnovers, as UB mentioned, has been the key right now. The Knicks defense pretty good. The leading point maker for the Knicks, Allen Houston, has 12 points, and Damon Stoudemire has 12. The Raptors had the edge in the 3-point shooting. There they are, 10-point lead in the turnovers, 16-6. Right now, let's go up to Craig Sager, who's in the front row, I think.
Not quite. After 5 years of war, the return of peacetime sports competition was a welcomed event. Back on November 1st, 1946, you could see New York and Toronto play for 75 cents. That was Canadian money. Same thing goes tonight. Only 52 cents on the U.S. exchange. But what's the view like from up here?
Oh, it's not that great, right? But 75 cents, good deal.
That is a good deal. And if you want a closer look at the Knicks, you can join us Tuesday in New York when Shaq comes to town. Courtside seats there are grand, if you can find one. Dick?
All right, Craig, thank you very much. And we're underway for the third quarter. The Raptors with the ball. Doug Christie starting with Damon Stoudemire in the backcourt. Popeye Jones up front with Walt Williams and Jean Tabak, the same 5 who started the game for Toronto. They led by 2 at the half, 28-26. And now the 3-point basket by Christie brings them to within 1, 49-48.
He's very uncanny, Dick. He made that shot at a 43% mark last year, and this evening he is 2 for 3.
Ward in the backcourt, along with Allen Houston. Larry Johnson up front with Patrick Ewing. His first shot, the baseline shot, is good at Buck Williams. Remember, Ewing and Larry Johnson playing with 3 fouls.
You've got to go to your 2 power guys, Dick. They're playing them one-on-one. They're not double-teaming them, so go inside and go strong.
And Walt Williams and Jean Tabak also playing with 3 personal fouls for Toronto. Christie, who hit the 3, finds Stoudemire. Ward doing a good job defensively. Popeye Jones with 2 on the shot clock hits the baseline shot. 51-50, the Knicks lead in the early moments of this third quarter.
Popeye Jones, uncanny how he makes that shot. Looks unorthodox, but it goes in.
Big acquisition from the Dallas Mavericks, and he'll help them in the power game. Ewing turnaround over Tabak. Patrick Ewing starts out red hot. He has 13 points, and the Knicks lead 53-50.
Well, if Patrick is going to have a big night, that is the key shot. He loves that basic fadeaway on the left box.
Ward really blanketing Stoudemire. Early going here in the third quarter. Stoudemire in the lane, feeding out to Christie, and Christie hits a 3-point basket, his second here of the second half. He's got 3 in the game and 11 in the contest. The backcourt doing the job for the Raptors.
And we also have a loose ball foul down inside.
That's a 3-point shot. Foul called against the Knicks number 53.
And the foul is called against Buck Williams. So Buck Williams, Larry Johnson, and Patrick Ewing, the starting front court for the Knicks, all with 3 personal fouls.
Well, that was a hammering 2 Brahma Bulls down inside. Buck Williams and Popeye Jones, both trying to get to the glass. Keep an eye on Christie now. He's now 3 for 4 in threes.
Popeye Jones hits the free throw. And it's 54-53. The Raptors have regained the lead after the Knicks had a 6-point margin. Ewing being fed by Charlie Ward, and Patrick Ewing has 6 points for the Knicks.
I don't know why Toronto is channeling the guy down the sideline in the 2-2-1. If they would ever just stop the Knicks in the backcourt, it would be much more effective.
Christie misses the layup. Popeye Jones tries to tip it in, and here come the Knicks. Patrick Ewing has scored all 6 of their points so far in this third quarter. Knicks lead by 1, 55-54. Ward looking for Larry Johnson low. And Stoudemire and Ward collide. No basket. And the foul called against Damon Stoudemire. That'll be his second.
Now you're seeing in the 2-2-1 track, you see they're channeling the ball down the side, so you just don't get a trap. Charlie Ward was smart, kept the dribble, just dropped the ball down inside. You cannot let the ball get to the middle of the court with a pass or a dribble against the trap.
Knicks and the Raptors, known as the Huskies back then, wearing the retro uniforms. Allen Houston with the spinning jump shot is fouled and will go to the line, and the personal is called against Walt Williams. And 4 fouls now on Walt Williams. Well, coming up next, the Suns and the Lakers. It'll be Shaquille O'Neal's debut in a Laker uniform, much awaited from the Forum. Coming up next, the NBA on TNT, and the second half of our inaugural doubleheader here to open this season. So Allen Houston misses the free throw. And Walt Williams trying to plead his case to Nolan Fine. Walt Williams now with 4 fouls, as we mentioned, has scored 6 points. Raptors counting on him for some scoring power in that small forward position.
Well, we said in the first half, he fouled out of 4 out of 7 exhibition games. He's always in foul trouble. He doesn't move his feet, and you should just be taking him clear out, take him off the dribble.
Stoudemire talking about taking people off the dribble, does that with Ward, pulls up with a jumper. Damon Stoudemire now with 14 points, and we're tied at 56. Feed inside. And unable to make the play was Larry Johnson. Ewing underneath as well. Here comes Stoudemire. Wide open Christie. He's been hot here in the third. He hit 2 threes, not that time. And the rebound by Buck Williams.
See, the Knicks are trying to pick up the tempo. Excellent timeout right now. It's a 22nd by Jeff Van Gundy and the Knicks. You can see the Knicks are not a blazingly quick, fast break team because the third guy on the break is a Larry Johnson. He can't run that well. Just keep an eye on this. See, Charlie, he's coming over the screen. He gambles, split the trap. More people are working on that now. As you come off the screen and roll, if the player steps up to trap you, take him off the dribble, split the trap. Now you're inside the defense.
Charles Oakley was suspended for the first 2 games of the season, including the home opener with Charlotte, coming up on Sunday at Madison Square Garden because of his role in the fight with Charles Barkley. Chris Childs, fractured right fibula. He's on the injured list. That's at least 5 games to start the season. Those are 2 games or 2 people, new faces. There's Childs that the Knicks do not have. And Dante Jones is one of their rookies also out.
An interesting stat on Oakley. Last year with Oakley, the Knicks were 33-20. Without Oakley, they were 14-15.
Telling.
Yes, absolutely.
On the value of Charles Oakley, who a lot of people think really, you know, Ewing is the featured man, but the heart and soul of this club. 5 fouls now against Walt Williams.
Not only does Oakley give you 9 defensive boards, but Oakley is an excellent offensive rebounder. Plus, he is their intangible rotator at the defensive end of the floor who takes a ton of charges every month in the lane.
And when you look at what the Knicks style has been in recent years, he has been the heart and soul with the blue-collar work ethic. Patrick Ewing inside. This is the first shot. And the rebound by Buck Williams. Williams draws the foul and will go to the free throw line. Buck Williams, who began his career with the New Jersey Nets, played 8 years there, and the last 7 with the Portland Trail Blazers. Popeye Jones, with his second foul, sends Buck to the strike.
Well, Buck has had just a sensational career. In '82, he was the Rookie of the Year. He's been an All-Star 3 times, and he's been an All-Defensive Player 4 times.
Buck Williams, a 69% free throw shooter last year, hits the first. 8:32 remaining in the third quarter. The Knicks breaking the 56 all-time. There are Buck Williams' numbers last year for the Trailblazers. And of course, he got to the NBA Finals on 2 occasions.
In Buck's first 11 years in this league, you would put down 15 points and 10 rebounds before the game started.
Tabak and Ewing have to be separated by Benny Adams. Patrick Ewing already picking up a technical in the second quarter, still eyeing John Tabak. So this has not been a comforting opener for Patrick Ewing here in Toronto. He has gotten hot under the collar on several occasions.
Well, keep an eye to the right of the screen right there. See, Tabak is trying to block him out. Ewing coming up over the top, and you could see the shot right there. Tabak came back right in there with that right elbow. The main thing for him is not to back away from Ewing, because you could see what you try to tell guys on the foul line, Dick, is when they're standing there, get your arms up over the top of the shoulder of the guy next to you. That time, Tabak had his arms down. Ewing went right over and pinned him. Smart move by Patrick.
But a double foul, double personals, and so now Ewing, as well as Tabak, now with 4 personal fouls, and this could be a battle of attrition before we're through.
Williams into the game for Patrick Ewing.
But right now, if you look at front court personnel, Toronto has more guys that they can bring in and out.
Allen Houston committing the foul on Doug Christie, and Ewing goes to the bench, replaced by Herb Williams. Tabak, however, stays in the game with his 4 fouls.
Well, he is expendable. They still can come back with Camby, and they still could come back with Wright. Now, you can see all of the fouls right there, but look on that right side. They are all front court people for Toronto.
Camby, with a brief appearance in his debut, had some spectacular moments, but picked up 3 fouls. David Stoudemire taking Charlie Ward to the hoop. Stoudemire now with 16 points, and we're tied again at 58.
They Charlie gamble that time. You can never gamble on a guy who keeps his dribble and takes it to the hole.
Ward starting in place of Chris Childs, getting the feedback and a nice layup by Charlie Ward. He now with 4 points. That's his first field goal of the game.
But a nice pass out of the double team by Larry Johnson.
The lead is 2 for the Knicks. Christie working against Houston and throws it away. He wanted to go baseline to Tabak, but the Raptors, as they have throughout this game, have turned the ball over, and the Knicks with a 2-point lead. Here's Houston working his way in the lane, throws it away, back-to-back turnover, and again it's Toronto ball.
The most dangerous place tonight is to be at courtside. I mean, you might have paid an awful lot of money, but you could get killed here tonight with an errant pass.
And if you could keep the souvenir in this place, boy, a lot of people would go home happy.
You're right.
Because they've had a lot of chances to get the ball. Popeye Jones now to Stoudemire. Ward limiting Stoudemire's ability for the 3-point shot. Stoudemire beating him off the dribble, and a slap foul called against the Knicks, and that'll be against Charlie Ward. It'll be his second.
See, Stoudemire has a nice gait about himself. He'll dribble, he'll back out, and then he'll explode. Now you can see that Stoudemire is outscoring him 16-4, but the main thing here is in shot attempts. In the first half, Damon had 8 attempts, Charlie Ward only 2.
That's the hidden stat that explains some of these numbers, but no surprise, Charlie Ward having his hands full against the reigning NBA Rookie of the Year, Damon Stoudemire. Here is Doug Christie. Hits the shot, steps back and hits Christie, who has 8 points here in the third quarter and 13 in the game. Again, we have a tie at 60. Herb Williams misses the layup and the rebound by Popeye Jones.
I like the half-court trapping that we're starting to see from Toronto.
Stoudemire misses a long 3-point attempt. That was about 5 feet beyond the arc. And the Knicks control it. So the Raptors with a chance to take the lead, rush the shot a bit. And now the Knicks with 6:25 remaining in the third. Looking to untie it again. Herb Williams, baseline missed. Tabak with the quick pass. Stoudemire, bounce pass, and here is Carlos Rogers, and a very nifty fast break run off the missed shot by the Toronto Raptors.
Rogers at 6'11" is as quick as any guy in this gym, going from end to end, and he can finish. You can see they're throwing up a lot of half-court traps now.
A 3-point basket by Allen Houston. First time anyone ever called the Sky Dome a gym. And I got to give you credit for 30,000. This place is mammoth, but that's what it is. And coming right back for the Toronto team, Stoudemire now with 18 points. Allen Houston feeding Herb Williams, and a travel called against Herb Williams, and we'll have a timeout. 5:35 remaining in the third. Tight game. Raptors by 1.
Please direct your attention to the...
Damon Stoudemire picking up where he left off, talking about last year and what he might expect this season.
Well, you got to pick and choose your spots. You know, you're not going to always be able to get open looks anymore. You know, I expect, you know, all preseason I had hands in my face. You know, I mean, last season I got open looks and, you know, free lanes to bucket, but, you know, I don't foresee too much of that this season, and if they do, then that'll be a mistake.
Well, you can see right now in this quarter, Stoudemire has 6 points and 4 assists, giving him a total of 18 and 9 for the ball game. The main factor right now for Toronto is they've put on a half-court trap on the wings. The last 4 possessions, it has disrupted the Knicks, and they've forced them into 2 turnovers.
Marcus Camby has come in for the Toronto Raptors. And Scott Brooks now in at point guard for the Knicks. So Camby, who picked up 3 fouls but made a great block and scored a bucket on a stub, has come in the game. And so the Raptors, who maintain possession, will be inbound by Carlos Rogers. So it's Rogers, Tabak, Camby, along with Hubert Davis and Damon Stoudemire. 64-63, Toronto leading with 5:15 remaining in this third quarter as Davis throws it up long range as the 24-second clock expired. Here's John Starks coming back. The Knicks have played their best with Starks in the lineup tonight, no question about it. John Wallace, the rookie, also in it. No look pass that Herb Williams could not handle. It was a good pass, however, by Williams.
Definitely. That should have been a dunk. That was a beautiful look by Wallace. He delivered in traffic.
Keep in mind that the Knicks outscored the Raptors by 11 in the 18 minutes that John Starks played in the first half. So let's see if he'll be a factor again in the second half. Stoudemire throws it away as Rogers was shooting toward the hoop. So the turnovers continue to fill the Sky Dome here.
That time, that was a beautiful move by Carlos Rogers. He would have had a layup. And unfortunately for him, Stoudemire predetermined the pass.
Another turnover. Stoudemire going in with a high arcing layup over Williams, or Wallace that is, couldn't do it, and now Brooks comes right back. Starks pulls up and hits. John Starks, picking up where he left off in the first half, now has 10 points, and the Knicks lead by 1. There's the time remaining in the third quarter. Stoudemire guarded by Brooks. Tabak defended by Herb Williams. And another turnover, and we have had more turnovers I can remember where passes just sailed, as you mentioned before, into the first or second row.
Well, see, they're not running any set plays, because anytime they run a set play down inside, the Knicks front the post-up guy. So they're running what we call a motion offense, which is 3 out, 2 in the corner. Well, what happens is anytime that a guy isn't open on a screen, they decide to throw a diagonal pass all the way across the floor, invariably a turnover.
And the Knicks turn one over right now. Stoudemire going to the bench for one of the rare rests, and Brooks gets it right back. So another double turnover on successive turns down the court.
Why should it be any different than what we've seen?
Good point.
You know, I mean, Toronto is doing a terrific job with the unexpected traps and defense. Unfortunately for them, they just give the ball right back.
And John Wallace short with the jumper. The rebound by Hubert Davis. Interesting that Larry Johnson has attempted only 3 shots in the game. He's made all 3, and that's where the Knicks needed the offenses.
Yeah, but what he's doing, though, he's doing a nice job passing out, Dick, to free people anytime he does catch the ball.
3:20, 3:19 to go, and no basket, and foul called against Brooks. And now let's take a look at tonight's Chevy scoreboard. Chicago opens up, the defending champions beating Boston. Other games, many in progress as you run down the list of a big schedule on this opening Friday night in the NBA. Carlos Rogers hits a 3. That's 8 3-pointers for the Huskies. That's what they were known as in 1946. 8 from downtown, and driving to the basket is John Starks, and he is fouled with exactly 3 minutes to go in the third.
Now, the reason why Rogers is excited because he was 3 for 21 in threes last year. Okay, well, but he caught that ball, and there was no hesitation.
You mean he needs 2 more to match his last year total?
Listen, he was not going to pass that ball. It was up and in. But he is having a nice third quarter here.
Marcus Camby with his 4th foul. Go ahead, Tony.
Well, you know, Camby has not played 6 minutes in this game, and he already has 4 fouls. Now keep an eye on him. See, that's just a catch and a shot. And there was plenty of times on the shot clock. But, you know, he's on a roll right now. He's running the lane real well. He's got a couple of shot blocks. He's rebounding. And we told you, he's a fine athlete out of Tennessee State. 6'11".
2 free throws by John Starks, putting some pressure on his former teammate, Hubert Davis. Game tied at 67, under 3 minutes remaining in the third. And we'll have a foul called against Scott Brooks away from the ball. That'll be the 15th foul by the Knicks. And so both teams are over the limit. And so the Raptors will be shooting when we come back to Sky Dome.
Craig Sager back at Sky Dome, where moments ago on the big screen they honored Oscar Robertson. When the NBA celebrated its 25th anniversary, Oscar Robertson was hailed as the best and most outstanding player ever produced on planet Earth, now being honored by the crowd here. 50 years later, your overall game is still legendary. When you sit back here and think about the history of the game, what comes to mind?
Well, I'm happy to see some of the players who were honored who played in the first basketball game, because the eyes really lit up when I saw them in the reception area back there. And I think it's great that the NBA is doing this to really show the people what the great game of basketball we have in America today.
Everybody talks about you averaging a triple-double for the whole season. They didn't keep those stats back then. You wish they would have?
No, it doesn't matter to me. I played when I did, and I played as best as I could. And I played against some great athletes, and I'm happy about it.
Most valuable player in the Final Four, Rookie of the Year, MVP in the All-Star Game, championship rings. I don't care what you're, Dick, it doesn't get any better than the Big O.
I couldn't believe he said I played as best as I could.
Yeah. Well, you know, sure, he averaged over 30, over 10, and over 10 assists and rebounds for the triple-double. But he missed it 4 other times. Over 30 points, over 10 assists, and 9+ rebounds, or he would have done it 5 straight years.
One of the greatest of the greats. John Starks hitting from downtown to give the Knicks a 70-69 lead. Starks now with 15 points off the bench. Unquestionably, he has been the spark plug as the 6th man tonight.
You know what he is, Dave, Dick? Oh, offensive foul right there. He popped ball. Yeah, he popped John right in the chest or in the
Camby gets the lay-in. Marcus Camby with his 2nd basket. Camby also has 4 fouls to bring Toronto up ahead 71-70, and another turnover. The Knicks turn it over. Brooks forced to play the point guard. They signed him as an insurance man when the child went down.
You see, the trap is definitely messing them up. It's like a 2-2-1. Instead of at 3/4 court, they're bringing it back to half court.
Camby with a turnaround. This is Sharon Wright with a follow. Rejected. Wallace, they call the foul on John Wallace. This was not called right here.
Yeah, right here. Now just watch what happens as Christie comes up here. You know, you see John is right there. Boom. Now you say, well, you've got to give the player a chance to turn around. Now right there, the Raptors were in a half-court trap, 2-2-1. Unfortunately, we had a bad angle, and unfortunately for us, we saw it after the trap already happened. But maybe as this half goes along, we'll be able to give you a better view.
Buck Williams comes into the game, replacing Herb Williams, who goes out having scored 1 point. Sharon Wright misses both free throws, and a chance to give the Raptors a 3-point lead. Is still 1. Here is Starks firing up another 3. Hits. John Starks with his 2nd 3-pointer from the same corner. He has 18 points and has tied Damon Stoudemire for the scoring lead in the game.
When he gets on a roll, you have got to pay attention, because he is one of the greatest 3-point streak shooters we've ever had. They're going over the trap into the corner. Anytime that you trap at half court, the corners open up.
Shooting 1, lost the penalty for 2.
So Doug Christie will go to the free throw line. Starks with his 2nd personal foul. Both teams over the limit. We have 1:28 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Christie hits the free throw. Allen Houston, who has 16 points, He had 8 points in the second quarter, returns to the game. So the Knicks now with Houston and Starks in the backcourt. Buck Williams, Larry Johnson, and John Wallace up front. Patrick Ewing on the bench right now for the Knicks. Christie has 12 points here in this third quarter to keep Toronto in the game.
Now that time they were in like a 1-2-1-1 trap. They gave you the one solid trap and rotated back.
Starks working against Hubert Davis. Allen Houston pump fakes, misses the shot. Rebound, Camby. Winding down to a minute to go in the third. Here is Rogers. Misses the stuff. Got his own rebound and then lost the ball on another turnover. Out of bounds. Last touched by Toronto will give the Knicks the ball. So we have had 19 turnovers against the Raptors and 18 called against the Knicks.
Dick, if they can keep up this type of an energy effort defensively and keep pushing the ball, the Knicks are in trouble here.
Under a minute to go in the third. 16 on the shot clock. Starks control 73-72 in favor of Toronto. Knicks led by 4 at the half. Turnaround by John Wallace doesn't drop. Marcus Camby gets the rebound. And Toronto looking to up their 1-point lead. They led by 2 at the end of one quarter. Sharon Wright gets free, goes baseline, no one there to pick him up, and Wright now has scored 8.
Here they are in the trap again. Sharon is murdered down inside. He's a big size guy who a year ago averaged 11 points and shot 48%.
Start of the year with the Philadelphia 76ers, and John Starks, relentless, going to the hoop, is fouled with 20.2 on the clock.
Now right now the trap has the Knicks out of sync. They're making them play fast. They're making them force shots, and they're not getting into their half-court methodical offense. Now you can see the trap right here. It's a 2-2-1, and then what will happen is sometimes they'll trap you hard as soon as you come over half court, or what they'll do is just play you man-to-man.
4 fouls on Sharon Wright. John Starks, who has been a factor. The Knicks outscored the Raptors by 11 in the first half when Starks was in the lineup. He's looking for his 19th point.
See, Darrell Walker is allowing guys to stay in the game with 4 fouls, letting them go regular rotations. The reason being, he has so many people. He has 6 guys over 6'10". What's the difference?
Playing for the last shot, perhaps, of the third quarter. Raptors lead by 1, 75-74. John Starks with 19 points. He is the game's high scorer. He's guarding Doug Christie. Christie banging with Starks. Goes in on a runner off the glass. Rebound by Houston as time runs out. John Starks, when he has been in the lineup, the Knicks have rolled. 19 points in 23 minutes, and after 3, the Raptors lead the Knicks by a score of 75-74.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. The pro debut of Allen Iverson, the #1 pick in the draft, has been absolutely spectacular at Philly's brand new Core State Center. Iverson has 30 points, running the show for the Sixers. But they're down, and with 36.5 seconds to go, they're down by 7 to the Bucks. We go back to Toronto, fourth quarter action. Dick and Udy.
All right, Ernie, thank you very much. We start the fourth quarter here at Sky Dome. 75-74, the Toronto Raptors are in front. The biggest lead in the game. Toronto had it in the first quarter, 15-8. Biggest lead for the Knicks was 6. And the cheers are for the doctor. Julius Erving, introduced to the crowd moments ago. A lot of the greats who are part of the top 50 players of all time announced earlier this week being saluted here. Starks keeps it in play. Patrick Ewing begins the fourth quarter, had a long rest in the third quarter, and Allen Houston stepped on the line. Knicks very ragged in his first possession of the fourth.
Well, with that turnover, it's 19 for the Knicks, 19 for Toronto.
That says it all. So as we start the fourth quarter, Christie at guard along with Hubert Davis, as Stoudemire starts the fourth quarter on the bench. Marcus Camby along with Carlos Rogers and Sharon Wright up front for the white-shirted Huskies, and that's what they were 50 years ago at Maple Leaf Gardens when these two teams, New York and Toronto, started the NBA. Here's Allen Houston bringing it up. Houston, Starks at guard. Great feed inside to John Wallace. And the rookie from Syracuse with 8 points in his debut.
The reason why he opened up, Carlos Rogers fell on the floor and pretended he got fouled on that three-point shot. Never crossed half court. Wallace hustling, picked up the easy hook basket.
And gave the Knicks their lead again, 76-75. Christie hits the three. He hit a bunch of threes to start the third quarter. Now he has 4 from downtown and 20 points in the game for Doug Christie, who averaged 10 for Toronto a year ago. And they are going to call
loose
offensive interference on Patrick Ewing, or a loose ball foul.
Loose ball foul over the back on Patrick Ewing.
And that'll be number 5 on Ewing.
He can't pick up a tee here right now. He can stare all he wants, but just don't get a tee. Van Gundy is quickly getting Herb Williams in the game. Dick, Toronto in three-point shooting for the game, 8 for 16.
Into the game for your Raptors.
Toronto has outscored the Knicks by about 15 points on those three-point shots. So Ewing goes to the bench with 5 fouls, and Damon Stoudemire, who's got a rest, he has 18 points, checks in for Toronto. Ewing has played only 5 minutes this half. Mired in foul trouble and only 15 points. Marcus Camby misses a fall away, but Carlos Rogers gets the rebound and nearly throws it away, but saved by Damon Stoudemire.
They are an excellent offensive rebounding team.
Hubert Davis misses from downtown. The rebound, John Wallace. This is an athletic team, to say the least, for Toronto.
They're so long, meaning size-wise with the long arms, and they are quick to get to the rim.
Interchangeable parts. They've got a good bench. And Sharon Wright over the top will pick up his 5th personal foul.
Now you look at them defensively, meaning Toronto. They trap you full court, 1-2-1-1 press. They also trap you three-quarter court, 2-2-1. Then they give you a half-court trap. So you have to prepare for 3 different defenses. They're rambling and scrambling. So they are going to be a major headache as the season goes on.
Darrell Walker said, offensively, we get 100 points, we're going to be in great shape. That may or may not happen. Allen Houston with a fall away. So Houston now with 18 points, including 3 from downtown, ties the game at 78. A little more than 3 minutes, a little less than 3 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. Here's Camby, and a foul as Camby drives to the hoop. And in the personal foul is against Buck Williams. That's his 4th.
Well, they catch him on a hand check. That time Camby came from a screen on the opposite side of the floor.
Don't forget the Phoenix Suns and the LA Lakers, Shaquille O'Neal and company, coming up later, the second half of our NBA on TNT doubleheader to start the 50th NBA season. Starks guarding Stoudemire, 12 off the shot clock. Davis coming off the screen. Hubert Davis struggling from the field, has only 3 points. So the Knicks now with a chance to undo it. High score at 78. We wind down to 9 minutes to go. Fourth quarter. Houston with a good pass inside. Buck Williams rakes the tie. It's 80-78.
That was a beautiful drop-off pass in traffic. Buck Williams thought that he was fouled. He's pleading his case to Nolan Vine right on the side here.
John Tabak and Walt Williams getting ready to check back in for the Raptors. Stoudemire, stop and go. Camby tipped up and into the hands of John Wallace.
Starks has done a nice job on Stoudemire off the dribble.
Traveling call against Allen Houston. Turns it over to the Raptors as Jean Tabak and Walt Williams, the starting forward duo, check back into the game for Toronto. Sharon Wright and Marcus Camby will sit down. This is Camby's first taste of action in a regular season game in his NBA career. The 2nd pick in the draft out of the University of Massachusetts.
Well, when the Knicks get the basketball, they should go right at Walt Williams. Either post them up or take him off the dribble. Take him right to the rim.
Williams with 5 fouls. Ewing on the bench with 5 for the Knicks. Knicks trying to take a lead with Patrick Ewing on the bench. Walt Williams misses outside. John Wallace the rebound. That's 7 rebounds for John Wallace, who's a very mature rookie in his first game as a pro.
He's doing a very nice job here this evening.
Wallace posting up. Beautiful. And a move that goes after the rebound. Fights for the loose ball. Comes out of the pack. Hubert Davis. Stoudemire working against Stark. Beats him off the dribble. Finds Tabak, who's fouled. But it all started with Damon Stoudemire.
Yeah, that was a very nice play, except you just wish that he would have given the ball up a little earlier. He had Tabak there early, and if the pass was delivered like a split second, he had an easy dunk for himself.
See, down at this end, you're going to see Wallace post up on Williams. They fake. Watch, here he comes on a curl. But what they're doing is to open up the pass. Now watch this up and under. Up, under, beautiful, and he just missed the shot.
Wallace picking up his first personal at the other end, and Jean Tabak missing the free throw attempt. Croatian, who played along with Tony Kukoc on the Croatian team at the Olympics. 80-79 in favor of the New York Knicks with 7:42 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's been a close game throughout. Toronto led by 2 at the quarter. The Knicks had a 4-point lead at the half, and the Raptors regained a lead by 1 after 3. Buck Williams fouled, and Popeye Jones was in his way, and he'll pick up foul number 3.
With the contact, the Huskies number 54, Popeye Jones, picks up his third foul of the game.
Jeff Van Gundy is trying to speed up the half-court sets with a lot of back screening, offside screening for post people going down into the box areas so that they catch the ball on the move. And what you like is tonight they're catching the ball and taking it strong.
Buck Williams connects on the free throw. 81-79 the score in his 16th year from the University of Maryland. Larry Johnson, who has scored only 7 points, not many shot opportunities, comes back into the lineup for the Knicks, replacing Herb Williams.
Well, Larry Johnson has been in foul trouble all night long. In the first half, he only had 10 minutes due to the fact that he had 3 personal fouls.
Interesting what Jeff Van Gundy told us today. He says Larry Johnson looks to me to be a better three-point shooter than from the 15 to 18-foot range.
Yeah, well, you know, last year he did shoot a very solid high 30% there in threes.
Tabak fouled as the Raptors beating the Knicks down court, and the personal is against Larry Johnson, number 4 on Johnson.
Going back to Larry Johnson, a year ago he made 67 threes for Charlotte. So you know that he can post up, and then when he does get out in that three-point area, you have to honor the shot.
Tabak 3 for 6 from the free throw line. And Toronto trailing by 3. Now he is 3 for 7. And these free throws down the stretch can really hurt you. And Darrell Walker in his first game as an NBA head coach. Tabak misses both free throws. Toronto has struggled from the line as of late. They have missed 16 or 10 from the line.
Well, they're missing him, Dick, and it's unfortunate because Tabak is really active offensive player.
Ooh, speaking of offensive foul against Larry Johnson. That'll be 5 on Larry Johnson.
Give Popeye Jones a lot of credit that time. Keep an eye on this defense here. Now just watch Popeye as he's guarding Larry. He just steps right in. Larry Johnson used that left arm to try to clear him out of there.
So Larry Johnson is 5. Patrick Ewing on the bench with 5 for the Knicks. Sharon Wright and Walt Williams each with 5 for Toronto, and there are a lot of others with 4. Williams misses from long range. Walt Williams only 6 points tonight. The small forwards starting tonight have not generated much offense for either team. Here's John Wallace. He has generated some offense. The ball hasn't gone in for him, but he fights back again and now loses it to Tabak. Hubert Davis spinning around against Allen Houston. This has become a frenzied game, the kind of game Toronto likes. Tabak takes a wild shot off the side of the backboard, and a loose ball foul has been called. And the foul is against Hubert Davis, his second. We'll have a timeout. The Knicks by 3. We'll be right back. Well, tomorrow, TNT's coverage continues of the Saracen World Open live from Chateau Elan Golf Course in Atlanta. Fred Couples, Jack Nicklaus, and Fuzzy Zeller top a stellar field. Join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. for live third round coverage. Now our McDonald's game summary with 6:21 remaining in the fourth quarter. And I'm as anxious as you are to see it.
All we want to do is...
There it is, Damon Stoudemire, 18 points, 9 assists. John Starks, 19 points off the bench, and Starks in there now for the Knicks, along with Buck Williams, Larry Johnson, Charlie Ward, and John Wallace.
We said this was a ragged game. We've had 40 turnovers, 53 personals, and 18 missed foul shots. Both coaches are hoping that their team will pull it together here in this last 6 minutes and 15 seconds.
And Buck Williams gets the basket on the spread out offense. This game may not go into the time capsule, although the fact that this is the 50th anniversary game might do it. Charlie Ward back in there guarding Damon Stoudemire. Here is Hubert Davis.
Nice fake.
Dribble, fakes, and misses from the corners. Davis struggling in his debut in a Toronto uniform, but Stoudemire comes back and hits from downtown. That's his third, and 21 points in the game. Christie and Stoudemire, 41 points between them for Toronto.
That was a very big three.
And it's 84-82. The Knicks up by a bucket with 5:35 to go. Reverse layup is missed by Larry Johnson. He had a great chance there to stretch the Knicks lead, but the Raptors turn it over again, and here comes John Wallace, strong to the basket, hits the short jumper, great body control.
He knew that he had Hubert Davis on him. He just took him right into the lane, elevated, shot over him.
86-82, John Wallace with 10 points and 9 rebounds. 1 rebound short of a double-double in his NBA debut. Christie misses the shot, but no shot as a foul is called against John Wallace, his third person. And the Knicks are over the limit with the 5:05 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Main thing right now for Toronto is just to take your time and just don't shoot early and force up bad percentage shots. Because when they take their time and they run their motion, their quickness is getting them nice opportunities.
Doug Christie 4 for 4 from the line. And the Raptors are shooting themselves in the foot in the second half with missed free throws. Patrick Ewing comes back into the game for the Knicks, replacing John Wallace. Ewing, playing with 5 fouls now, has scored 15 points, already picked up a technical in the first half. Christie misses both free throws, and the score remains 86-82 in favor of the Knicks. Here's Starks for 3. Rebound by Carlos Rogers.
They got what they wanted. Put the press on, get him to shoot early.
Stoudemire controlling. Guarded by Ward. Johnson defending. And the pass picked off by Allen Houston. So yet another turnover, and that is the 21st by the Raptors. Here's Ewing working against Rogers, and he fouls him. So Carlos Rogers fouls Patrick Ewing. Where would Toronto be in this game without the missed free throws and all the turnovers?
Now just keep an eye right here. When the ball goes into Ewing and he makes his move, see, watch Carlos Rogers elevate here right now. Yeah, he catches Patrick right on the wrist.
He'll shoot 2.
You wonder if the Raptors might be comfortably in front if they hadn't turned it over as much and hit some from the line.
Oh, absolutely, Dick. And that's why I say during the course of the year, they're going to be a very, very dangerous team in this building. They're going to be extremely exciting. But then again, they're going to be ragged nights also because of the lack of team chemistry and the fact that they turn the ball over so much.
Good hustle by Charlie Ward on the missed free throw by Ewing. Ewing with his 16 points in only 18 minutes Patrick double team, knocked away by Christie, and a good play by Hubert Davis.
You can't do that.
And Allen Houston fighting for the loose ball. It's a volleyball game right now.
That was a travel. He elevated up in the air and then bounced the ball down on a dribble.
Charlie Ward gets it back. Winding down to 4 minutes to go. Houston with a good fake pass, lays it in. Allen Houston with a fake of the pass, puts it in for 20 points in the game. And a timeout is called by Darrell Walker. It's a 20-second timeout. And the biggest lead of the game right now by the Knicks. 89-82 is the score.
Well, you can see Darrell's very upset. He's telling him, use your head, use your head. And unfortunately, that has been the biggest problem all night long. The opportunities are definitely there for them. The Knicks, on the other hand, have got to play intelligently now. You have Larry Johnson in the game along with Patrick Ewing. Go strong, force the double teams, and you're going to get high percentage shots. Now, this could have been called right here. No, I'm sorry. That was not the play that we were looking for in regards to that high, the elevation and the dribble. Right. It happened before that.
Patrick Ewing with 5 personal fouls. It has not been a pleasant night for Ewing, but he still has a chance to bring home the Knicks the victory here. It's been a tight game throughout. Each team has had a 7-point lead. The Knicks' biggest lead right here at 89-82 with 3:59 remaining in the fourth. And neither team has a foul to give. Stoudemire from downtown. Yes. That's a big one, and that'll bring Toronto to within 4.
Now you've just got to force the timeout. That time they were in a full court man-to-man press.
And each team with 3 timeouts remaining. No 20s left. 89-85. New York. We'll be right back.
Where's Shaq? There's Shaq on the court at the Great Western Forum. That's game 2 of our opening night doubleheader on TNT coming up in just a few minutes. Shaq and the Lakers playing host to the Phoenix Suns. Meantime, Shaq's old team, the Orlando Magic, falling 96-92 tonight in the season opener at the Arena. They used to be virtually unbeatable against the East at home. They lose by 4 to the Bullets. Howard had 18 and 10. Back to Toronto.
Ernie's a true Shaq who promises not to take a shot until we get to his game. 89-85, the timeout story, each team with 3. No 20s and no fouls to give.
There was your one trap. Now they're rotating. They're coming back with another trap.
Houston and Ward, along with Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, and John Starks. 3 guards out there for the Knicks. They go into Ewing, and Ewing scores over Walt Williams. So Ewing now with 18 points.
You have to take that, Nick. That's a total mismatch. But anytime you're gambling and you're running and trapping, the mismatch will happen.
6-point lead for the Knicks, and Carlos Rogers lost it out of bounds. Not a good pass from Damon Stoudemire, who has done so many good things tonight, but he has turned it over too much.
Oh, another
and on the turnover back, Christie saves it for Stoudemire, who now has 26. And it's a 4-point game again in favor of the Knicks.
Right there, Carlos Rogers almost picked up a technical foul. Rogers and Stoudemire made the trap, but they did foul. And Carlos Rogers went right into the face of nullifying. No, that's a penalty. Come on, both teams are over. Sure.
Both teams are over the limit. So Rogers with 4 fouls. See Christie's play.
Now you're going to see there's good pressure here right now. Now right now you see what happens is anytime that you catch the ball with your back to the defensive players, that can possibly open up. And Toronto with the long arms, Christie gets his arm in there, knocks it loose. Next thing you know, Stoudemire's laying it up.
Darrell Walker said Doug Christie makes you smile and he makes you cry. He's making him smile a lot more tonight. No question about it. With 20 points, 4 from downtown. The 2 of them, Stoudemire and Christie, have put up brilliant numbers tonight, including the 3-pointer. Allen Houston with 2 free throws. 93-87 in favor of the Knicks. Getting close to 3 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Stoudemire crosses over against Ward, can't convert, and Ewing gets the rebound.
Charlie Ward has very quietly put together a nice game. He only has 4 points, but look at that. Beautiful. Oh, Patrick! Oh, my! Charlie Ward with 8 assists and on only 2 turnovers, none in the second half.
Christie changes hands and lays it in. Great play by the former Knick, Doug Christie, also had played with the Lakers. It's 93-89, and here comes the trap again. Get it up. Allen Houston working his way in, pushed by Stoudemire, I believe, from behind.
He couldn't stop, Dick. He was behind, chasing, and he went right down in there, and he slipped right into that foul. It's a great pass by Charlie Ward. Patrick goes right up. There was a crib, and he just blew the play. At the other end, watch Christie now change hands. As he takes it up into traffic right here, he switches hands, lays it up. Just a beautiful play.
Third personal against Stoudemire, and Allen Houston going to the line to shoot 2. Houston tonight 5 of 6 from the free throw line. 94-89 in favor of the Knicks. Allen Houston, who was highly recruited like he was a college prospect by Patrick Ewing and the Knicks hierarchy to get him to sign to leave the Pistons.
Last year he shot 83%, and he's 83% for his 3 years in the league. Just an outstanding talent.
24 points for Allen Houston, leading scorer for the Knicks tonight. Stoudemire with 26, the top point man for Toronto. Christie misses from the perimeter, long rebound into the hands of Ward. 95-89. The Knicks' biggest lead was 7. The basket here will give them their biggest mark.
See, with this group out on the floor for Toronto, they just do not have a post-up threat.
Larry Johnson fouled inside, and they had Stoudemire defended.
It's difficult to beat a good defensive team like the Knicks off the dribble time and time again as you're going down in the last 4 minutes of a ball game. And the Knicks right now are playing them soft, keeping them out on the perimeter because there is no threat of a post-up game.
4 personals on Stoudemire. Larry Johnson hits the free throw. So where the Raptors having problems from the stripe, the Knicks are connecting from the free throw line and can establish their biggest lead of the game right here, which they do. An 8-point lead with 2:02 remaining.
You just can't panic. You have to understand that you got a lot of young guys out on the court right now. You know, the Raptors have 12 guys with only 4 years or less experience out of 13.
Stoudemire fouled by Charlie Ward, and he'll go to the line. But you got to be impressed with the second-year team and the prospects that they have with all of their youth and athletic. They're a younger team now than were last year.
Look at their team. 13 guys on the roster. Benoit Benjamin has been in the league 11 years. The other 12 players with only 4 years of experience or less, and the size and the quickness that they have here, there are going to be plenty of nights. But they need right to establish a low post game night in and night out. But the guy in 3 years has missed 120 games with lower back spasms. That's half the games.
Played briefly tonight coming off the bench. Damon Stoudemire now with 28 points. 6-point lead for the Knicks. Plenty of time remaining. 1:52 on the clock. Beating the trap. Here's John Starks passing inside to Larry Johnson, who lays it in. 11 now for Larry Johnson. And the Knicks are up 99-91, and a foul after the basket, and Walt Williams is fouled out of the game. With 6 points, Walt Williams is gone.
The Knicks have done a nice job, Dick, anytime they've gone to the small lineup, moving Allen Houston up to play small forward. Starks has just dominated, whether he's at the 2-guard position or when they take out Charlie Ward, they play him as the point guard.
And they've had 6 men in double figures.
EJ back at you in Atlanta. Don't go away, folks. Shaq's on his way. The Lakers and the Suns, game 2 of our opening night doubleheader. And there's the big guy getting loose at the Great Western Forum. It's coming up next. Now back to Toronto.
All right, Ernie, thank you very much. Looking forward to the Suns and the Lakers. The Knicks leading the Raptors 99-91 in our Bud player of the game is John Starks, who has been the spark plug off the bench with 19 points. When Starks has been in there, the Knicks have flourished. Congratulations to our Bud player of the game. Good shooting night, 7 of 13. Larry Johnson with a free throw. And the Knicks lead 100-91 with 1:46 to go. The Knicks have made 16 of their last 17 from the line, where Toronto has struggled. That's been a big factor in the Knicks fourth quarter surge, and yet another turnover taken away by Camby and a foul called against Marcus Camby.
Now, when Stoudemire made his move down the lane that time, that was an excellent strip by Charlie Ward or Stark. They reach right in from the rear, knock the ball loose. They've done a terrific job in chasing him rather than turning and going to the other end of the floor.
Correction on the foul. It's Damon Stoudemire, and that's 5 on Stoudemire. And Allen Houston going to the free throw line as the Knicks have been impeccable on shooting free throws down the stretch. John Wallace with a very impressive first game of his career with 10 points and 9 rebounds.
Well, when you look at the Knicks and you say to yourself, they need Patrick and they need Larry Johnson to give them big points, big minutes. They didn't get any of that tonight, and they're coming out of here with a win.
Foul trouble. Ewing was on the bench most of the second half. So Allen Houston with 26 points. Got off to a slow start offensively, but ends up the high scorer for New York. 102-91, an 11-point lead. Knicks pulling away down the stretch. Ewing bounced it back right into the hands of Carlos Rogers, and a foul is called underneath. And the foul is against the Knicks. Loose ball foul, and it's against Larry Johnson, and that is his 6th foul. So Larry Johnson, in his debut in a Knicks uniform, has fouled out, having scored 12 points and picked up 3 rebounds.
Well, you know, you're in a game like this, so you're Jeff Van Gundy, you want to win. You're looking at your guy Larry Johnson, you tell him, hey, listen, relax, it's a W for us tonight. You did a good job when you were out on the floor, and in the first half you didn't force anything. Every time you got double teamed, you did what we said. You found the free people with a nice pass.
Marcus Camby misses the free throw. An ugly win for the Knicks over Isaiah Thomas, the general manager of the Raptors, who won 21 games last year. Minnesota Timberwolves in the 89-90 season won 22. But this is a younger, and this team has a more promising team, I think, now than they were even a year ago.
Well, they've added some excellent talent here. It will take them a while. You got a new coach, you got a new style of play. All of this will work out over as long as everyone keeps a good attitude and they say we're going to be coachable.
And it'll be interesting to see how the Knicks evolve with their new faces. Of course, we'll get Charles Oakley back after the next game. He'll be suspended for 1 more game, and then Chris Childs comes in. So we haven't seen the entire Knick cast as well. As Ewing goes to the line, he's shooting 2. Patrick avoiding fouling out of the game when it counted. Has 18 points, misses the front end of the free throw.
Now, when the Knicks have everyone, you look at their second unit. You have Wallace, Herb Williams, Buck Williams, Charlie Ward, and John Starks. Not bad, because now you can play big, you can play small. There are a number of different ways you can go, and you have to like, they showed you a lot of different things here this evening, in spite of the fact that the game has been incredibly ragged.
Christie over to Stoudemire, and Hubert Davis finally connects. Davis struggling, 6 points, hitting from downtown. 102-95, 7-point lead with 41 seconds. Not over yet. Stoudemire fouling Allen Houston.
What I like about Houston is the fact that he is an outstanding three-point shooter. He shoots a nice percentage, but he's an 83% foul shooter. And at times like this, if you notice, they get the ball to him. He is showing initiative in dribbling the ball and getting fouled.
And David Stoudemire has fouled out of the game, having scored 28 points, 10 assists. So Damon Stoudemire emphatically picking up where he left off last year when he was the Rookie of the Year. And coming into the game is Donald Whiteside, and we can tell the story. Invited to camp as a free agent, played in 4 countries. The MVP of the Pro Summer League was, what, a teacher and a coach in a high school in Chicago last year.
St. Leo's High School. He played in a number of countries overseas, played in the CBA at Rockford. This summer was the MVP of the Chicago Pro League. Now just think about it. You're teaching school a year ago at your old high school, and all of a sudden you find yourself here, you are in the NBA.
He said he's taking a vacation from teaching to play in the NBA. Doug Christie now with 24 points and a whistle and a foul with 29.5. While we have a moment, we want to thank our statistician, Marty Aronoff, a right-hand man off to my left. And 5th foul
Everybody remember where we
has been called against Marcus Camby.
Number 3, John Starks, shooting 1+ the penalty.
And John Starks is on the line for 1+ the penalty. If we would have a few bucks for each of the personal fouls in this game, 4 up, we could go on vacation ourselves right now.
You know, right now, I would always say when you're coaching, we still have a shot here. The big thing right now is if Starks misses this free throw, and even if he makes it, you're only down 29 seconds. We score, we go for a steal. Anything can happen in the NBA.
And the Raptors call a timeout. They have 1 left, trailing 105-97 with just under a half a minute remaining. Toronto with a possession with 25.2 seconds, and Carlos Rogers hits the jump shot. And it's 105-99 and a quick foul to stop the clock. That's what you want to do if you're behind in the waning moment.
Well, at this time of the game, Dick, what you try to do is get a steal first. So you go for the steal. If you don't get the steal, then you foul, stop the clock, force them to make the foul shots. And then you try to use your timeouts. Right now, Toronto still has 1 timeout remaining, because then you can always move the ball to half court.
Carlos Rogers fouls out of the game. There you see the free throws. There have been 66 fouls in the game, 48 turnovers. That'll slow things up a bit. And Rogers fouls out, having scored 12 points.
Well, it's only 6 here now. And if they shoot and miss, some teams might not call a timeout. They would just push the ball right down the floor and try to score quickly.
Wallace with 10 points and 10 rebounds. There you go. So Camby gets the rebound with under 20 seconds to go. Toronto be looking for threes. Here's Christie. Very nearly had it in and out, though. Missed. And the Knicks control, but a foul is called with 12.3. Starks was fouled by Camby, who fouls out of the game. So Marcus Camby becomes the 3rd player to foul out. 4th player to foul out for Toronto, having scored 5 points.
Interesting strategy right there. Now, we looked at it. We saw Christie get a wide open 3. Unfortunately, when you miss the 3 with this amount of seconds, you're inside of 15, you foul right away. If you take the ball and drive it strong to the basket, it's incredible how the team that's ahead will usually allow you to lay the ball up. And then if you score, you're in a 4-point game and you have 12 seconds on the clock. There's a big difference of philosophy of coaching of what to do. Take the 2 or take a 3.
John Starks, 5 of 6 from the line, the 6-point lead for the Knicks. The Toronto Raptors have not gone easily in this game for the Knicks down the stretch. They had a 11-point lead, and it's now 106-99.
John Starks has been totally under control at both ends of the floor here this season. He has done a terrific job scoring, defending, and assists. And
his new role seems to suit him to a T. 22 points for John Starks, and the Toronto Raptors have used up their last timeout with 12.3 on the clock. 107-99, the Knicks lead. We'll be right back.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. They are underway at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles, and you see there is no score yet. Shaquille O'Neal does have his first Laker rebound. That is game 2 of our doubleheader. It's coming right up as soon as they wrap things up between the Raptors and the Knicks. Back to Skydome.
All right, Ernie, thank you very much. 107-99, the Knicks lead to Toronto. The Raptors using up their last timeout. Amazingly enough, the Knicks have gone to the free throw line 23 times in this 4th quarter alone. That's mind-boggling.
And the fact that they made 17 is incredible, because the Knicks last year, a very poor foul shooting team, and only shot 71% during the exhibitions this year.
Donald Whiteside looking to inbound, just gets it in before the 5-second violation. Christie spinning around, and the rebound knocked away by Charlie Ward. And it's going to be Toronto's ball with 4.7 on the clock. So the Knicks are going to win this game and open up the season with a victory on the road. They swept the Raptors 4 straight last year and win this one as Whiteside misses from the baseline, and the game is over. The final score, the Knicks 107, the Raptors 99. Allen Houston at 28, Starks with 22, Stoudemire had 28 for Toronto. For Hubie Brown, Dick Stockton saying along, let's send you out to L.A. For Shaq and the Lakers, to Bob Neal and Chuck Daly.
The team won.